Welcome, my name is Diablo68 and this is Game in Existence, the channel where we go over everything to do with games. Today we're having a look at Endless Legend, which is a fantasy turn-based 4X game, so let's get into it. In 4X games, race customization is one of my favourite things, and Endless Legend, very much like its predecessor Endless Space, gives a really good offering for this. You have a lot of different races that you can use, and they all have different special powers. They also all have different units that can be used. Some of these will be quicker, tankier, deal more damage, have different utilities. And these are all make it quite interesting to then use these different races. Of course, you can edit your race, and very much like Endless Space, you have a huge list of different things that you can go through, adding minuses so that you can have more pluses onto your race as well. It's a really good system they've got here, and even you also have quests that you go through. So depending what different sort of hero or selection of races you go for, will depend what different quests you have at the start of the game. It's a really good offering. Mechanics is always one of the most important things I find about 4X games, but I want to interrupt that for a second and just go over the visuals for Endless Legend. They've done a really good job of actually just making the cities and the towns look really good, the terrain. It makes you want to go out and actually investigate and research and go into the fog of war to see what different things are out there. They've done a really good job of this. It's kind of funny in the fact that the terrain and everything looks good, but the actual user interface looks really bland. So it's a give and take that they give you here on Endless Legend. As for the mechanics, it's your standard 4X affair: food, industry, science, money, and you have an influence as well that is used in this game. And you have these are your the population. You can move them around so that you can then see the pluses and minuses of whatever you get from using your people in different areas. As you expand your towns, they have like a district system, which I believe the latest Civilization game has started to use as well. And you can see you expand out and you get to exploit more sort of industry or food or science from the actual like the region that you're in. You can see there's like a region around here. Which is quite interesting how you do it. You level up these districts so you get more stuff out of them. Standard 4X mechanics. It's hex based, so and you can stack your armies. So you have an army and you have all your different units in there. And as borders appear, so obviously you have your people along your borders ready to defend yourself. Normal stuff going on, very much in like the Civilization vein. When it comes to the tech tree in Endless Legend, I'm not a huge fan. They have an era-based system, and that's in the fact that you start on obviously era 1, and you have to do, I think it's like 10 researches before you can then unlock the next era. And same again, so you'd have to do 10 researches in era 2 before you can unlock era 3. And how they do it is the fact that it's kind of interesting is the fact that these researches, it isn't like a specific research costs more than something else, like a sword is going to cost 500, whereas just a farm is going to cost 200 research. They've done it in the fact that each research you do has a cumulative cost to it. So even if you've done, say you're in like the final era, and then you go, actually I want to do something from era 1, it isn't going to be, oh, just 2 seconds because your research or your science is now miles ahead of it. It's going to cost the same as if you do a one in the later eras. I believe that's how it works. And I just find the visuals of how it looks, I'm really not a huge fan of the tech tree. The unit designer in Endless Legends is actually really quite cool. It's kind of like RPG elements in the fact that as you do quests and unlock different technologies, you get different equipment. And each of these has different things, and there's like strategic resources which then add different things onto it. So basically, you can choose different items to then put onto your units, and depending on what you want to go for, you might add initiative, or you can see some of the stuff in here. You have long range, or you do extra things. It's quite cool, and you can customize this for all of your units. So you can make tanky ones, you can make fast guys, and even you can have archers which can take more damage, or archers which sit the back. You can do whatever you want. It's really quite a cool system that they've got here. It can take a bit of time to actually play around with and mess with it, but when you actually get into combat, you can see it's worthwhile. Combat is actually quite cool in Endless Legend. You can either sort of spectate, manual, or you obviously just auto resolve it, and you go through. And so the actual game map changes to then give you the terrain that you then do on this like sort of mini game that you have here. And your units, as you've done them, as you've designed them in the unit designer, if you've made it so they're more tanky or reflect damage back and things like that, you then get to see that in this visual display here. And you have initiative order at the top, and you can control what your units are going to attack and do things. It's pretty good offering. It keeps it interesting and rewards you for that unit designer element that you've used. You have, it's hex based, but you stack your units as well. So each of these different things I've got along here, these are armies that I've got across the border. So I'm going to war with the computer / trying to defend my borders here. And it just makes it interesting. You're trying to intercept an opponent's army with your army. It's really quite cool to do that way. Some things I really don't like. They've got a marketplace, you've got strategic resources which you can see along the top here, and if you need more you can try and buy them for a certain cost, and it sort of replenishes each turn and stuff. It's just a little bit annoying. It's a micromanagement I don't enjoy, and also that then factors in also to then actually sort of the unit design. If you then go to make something, you then, especially later on in the game, you have all of these cool, super cool looking things, and you take the time to read all of the things. It's like, how much damage does it do? How much defense is it going to give me? Each of these things also give like, special powers as well, which then goes along here. And if you take the time to actually work it all out, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to have, this thing, and I'm going to have this thing, and you've worked out all of these amazing things to have on your character. And then actually you realise that it's going to take up, one unit is going to take up like majority of your strategic resources, and you can only build one of them. It's just a little bit annoying. I feel like the strategic resource cost in some of these items is just too much. Quick summary for Endless Legends, and I would say it's a solid 4X game. If you've got a little bit bored of Civilization, or you want a bit more of a fantasy feel, you want to go into a bit more depth with unit designer and have a sort of, maybe even a bit more like RPG elements going on with like putting different equipment on and doing quests, then this is the game for you. It looks visually good, it plays well, it's just a standard 4X game. Another one in the bag for the Endless Legend guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see similar videos like this about 4X games, click on any of the links on the screen at the moment, including the Endless Space 2 alpha review for a sneak peek at the next Endless game that will be coming out in 2017. As always, click the subscribe button at the bottom if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching.